president, speaking of him, is calling on Congress to eliminate all these tax provisions for oil and gas. So we've heard what Tom Cole and Dan Bourne both saying. The president's obviously uninformed, in the words of Congressman Cole. He doesn't know squat about oil and gas. So what are you thinking about this?
Well, I would have to agree with both of them on it. The perception, and I've been in hearings in Washington already, where Timothy Geithner and other folks are in front of us talking about oil and gas and all these things, and they talk about it like every company is Mobil Exxon. And you know what? Mobil Exxon is only 3% of all the oil anyway, even a giant company like that. They have no perception of independence. They have no perception of companies that produce equipment like the Chemrays and Flowmores and so many that are here in the area that actually produce Downing Wellhead. I mean, you go on and on and on. There are all these great companies that are out there that produce equipment that are smaller companies, and they just look at all the big giants and say that's what it is, and they're just uninformed about what it really means. Besides the fact, the manufacturer's tax that they keep talking about, manufacturers get an 8% tax credit, oil companies get a 6% tax credit. They already get a smaller percentage anyway in this setup. So they're hitting on an area trying to say that's the problem. Ultimately, if they raise taxes on energy companies, guess what happens? Prices go up at the pump, and then they'll complain even more. So the reality is their fix doesn't really fix it. It makes it worse.
What will Congress do?
Well, I don't hear Congress talking with a great deal of excitement about raising taxes on anybody. A lot of the conversation is about dealing with the corporate tax, trying to reduce some of the exemptions on it and flattening the rate out. There's also quite a bit of conversation about what do we do to just cut our spending. We're spending too much money. Raising $4 billion in gas taxes doesn't solve the price of gas, and it doesn't solve our deficit and debt problem. $4 billion is not going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what we need to be able to take on, and that's our